bloom. The time by Sagicor Bank is 7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, in their own words, student witnesses detail circumstances leading up to fatal Seaforth stabbing. Terrified teachers, JTA says members growing fearful amid surge in student violence. Give us space. Police urge citizens not to interfere after clash with transport operators and onlookers. And later, One Love for All. Kiwanis Club, Bob Marley Foundation serenade persons with disabilities. In the business report, Jamaica and Agro-tourism gem in the making. For over $100 million. What the
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by...
Say yes to the new onion ring zinger from KFC. It's finger licking.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Tuesday, April 21, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us. Up first this evening, no room for discretion in the 2022 Firearms Restriction Bill has seen legal minds pondering the likely implications from the change. Concerns raised again by criminologist Dr. Jason Mackay as more honest mistakes force otherwise law-abiding citizens before the nation's courts, facing up to 15 years in sentences.
Draconian sentences, a feature of the 2022 Gun Act, were intended to stem the plethora of gun crimes. It was intended to hit the criminals hardest and has so far yielded much results, according to the National Security Minister.
I've had a few minor things to amend, and that proceeding, we should have that in this financial year. We have complemented this with strong anti-gang measures, organized, professional, targeted policing, data-driven, and calculated to find the gangs where they are, disrupt them, and intelligence has been expanded, ensuring enforcement is not only robust, but strategic and targeted, hence a reduction we have had in criminal violence.
But from the onset of the amended legislation, experts have long held the view that it carries implications for even law-abiding citizens. Criminologist and crime fighter Dr. Jason Mackay welcomes the bill as effective, but also harmful to innocent civilians who can sometimes make honest mistakes, such as a policeman, he says, who was charged after being found with a toy gun. Toy guns, he notes, could be reasonably explained if, based on certain features, they mimic a real gun, but he struggles to understand why the bill doesn't distinguish between a common toy like a water gun.
How the act could affect good people, normal people, and that's what I know. That's what I think we need to be concerned about. It can't be that it's going to affect an innocent man or a good man who's made a mistake, and no discretion can be allowed.
He notes the way forward with minimum mandatory sentences of up to 15 years will require a relook to not make criminals out of otherwise innocent people.
I would like the judges to have discretion as to whether they want to reduce or increase. It can't be set out on paper like you're dealing with a computer. I want
can't just be black and white.
Right, and I wonder, and I think there's how it impacts the licensed firearm holders. It's too drastic. It can't be that you're 5 rounds over and God help you, you're dead.
He rubbished the theory that the mandatory aspect of the bill seeks to further eliminate corruption in the justice system, stressing Jamaican judges are fearless and among those with the lowest corruption ratings. He further argues,
even how you can be issued a firearm license, if anybody reports you, that results in your being taken into custody, you'd have to be remanded, you'd have to be charged, you'd have to be convicted. If you are arrested for a domestic violence incident, you cannot be given a gun license, and you cannot keep the gun license you have. So all someone has to do is tell a lie on you. And that privilege, you're barred. Remember, that privilege is also a massive employment area in Jamaica also. So you can't work as a security guard, you can't work as a police officer, you can't work as a soldier. You can't invest in a security company in any great way. Once somebody says that you're involved in a domestic violence incident and you are arrested.
Meanwhile, major crimes continue to trend downward in several divisions across the island. Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says some 3,000 lives have been saved since 2017, owing to increased policing and investment in crime fighting in Jamaica.
One of my good friend from South Manchester spoke of divine intervention. I don't think he understood that it was already decided. He got the wrong intervention. Somewhere in Spanish Town was a young man who invented to occupy the seat of authority as Prime Minister. That was a divine intervention. One pair. It is remarkable that we have one Prime Minister through this remarkable stage in our history, with all the crises we have had. I want to thank my colleagues in the Cabinet for their continued partnership and collaboration, and extend special appreciation to my Minister of State.
And we apologize for the incorrect insert. But Jamaicans have gotten wary of politicians and their approach to their jobs, according to Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Western, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn. During the latest Ethics Committee meeting on Tuesday, Mrs. Cuthbert Flynn noted that many Jamaicans feel parliamentarians do not take their jobs seriously.
I think the Jamaican people have gotten a little weary of the way we approach our duties, our job as parliamentarians. I don't think the people take us as serious. Even when it came to our salary, persons believe we were not worth our salary. We should do what is right, no matter who and no matter what, as long as we are going down the right path.
The Jamaica Teachers Association is raising alarm this evening, saying some teachers are now in fear for their lives as violent incidents in schools continue to escalate. The concern follows a string of attacks, including the recent fatal stabbing of a student at Seaforth High, just weeks after other deadly and troubling incidents at multiple schools. The association says the pattern points to a deepening crisis within the education system. Akeem Orit has more.
Teachers are now on edge. fearful for their safety as violence in schools intensifies. The fatal stabbing of a Seaforth High student comes just 48 days after the March 4 deadly chair attack at Oterias High in St. Anne. There have been several other incidents since. Another chair attack at Arbuthnot Gallimore High days later. More recently, a disturbing case involving students at Jamaica College. And on Tuesday, this video emerged of students at Excelsior High, multiple fights simultaneously with the students egging them on. According to President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Dr. Mark Malava, the frequency of these incidents signals a serious and growing problem.
We have seen instances where teachers are even attacked by students. So there is a high level of indiscipline that is within our society. And, you know, I have been on record to say we are going to have to take a hard-nosed approach towards treating with matters of indiscipline in our school. Yes, there's the intervention. Yes, you know, there is the child diversion program, all of this. But for me, where it is that a student has committed a number of infractions, then quite frankly, they need to be separated from the institution.
The JTA president says the situation has reached a critical point.
Teachers are going to be concerned about their safety. Students are going to be concerned about their safety. We have seen a proliferation of violent acts being captured, you know, on social media and that sort of thing. So people are going to feel unsafe. I believe from where we sit, the Ministry of Education is going to have to huddle to take another look at it to see what sort of strengthening, how do you strengthen the various mechanisms that are there.
Dr. Malava is again calling for stronger safety measures within schools to protect both staff and students.
From where I sit, we need to increase, we need more vigilance. I have been on record to say, you know, we need more deans of discipline. I am happy that the Minister of Education is in agreement with me. There needs to be a proliferation of cameras across the institution and that sort of robust investigation, that sort of robust intervention where necessary. I don't propose to have all the solutions, but there is a need for us to sit and have dialogue and to come up with the right sort of solutions and best practices.
Akeem Oret for CVM News.
In order for supply to satisfy demand in the tourism industry, capital or human capital development must be at the forefront. This is the viewpoint of Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett as he highlighted the value of the training, certification and classification of the industry's workforce. Crystal Williams has the details.
According to the Minister of Tourism, Ed Bartlett, human capital development aims to change the labor market arrangements in tourism. As he sought to motivate the young listeners at the Youth Tourism Summit in Montego Bay, he highlighted the appointment of the first Jamaican woman managing director of Half Moon Hotel. He says, since 2022, the industry has established a comprehensive pension plan for all tourism industry workers with $6 billion Jamaican dollars for 10,000 workers so far.
And we put in a provision by government giving $1 billion Jamaican dollars to help to augment the fund, to enable, and this is the only pension plan in the world that has that provision. A member who joined at age 59, that you can get a pension guaranteed of $225,000 as if you had started saving from age 18.
The minister says the training and certification of the industry's workforce is of paramount importance.
What will make the difference for the industry is to professionalize the industry. And the professionalization of tourism is about training and certification of the workers of the industry. And that's a program that I, as your minister, is committed to and has been committed to. And if I do nothing else to complete my tenure, is to get to that point where we feel, yes, we are on a path to professionalizing the industry.
As one of the most creative industries in the world, the minister says the sector thrives on the experiences Jamaicans are able to create. However, he would prefer if that ability is not obstructed by a lack of qualification. It's inspired collaborations with international certification bodies to certify 30,000 workers across the industry.
Because we have these numerous, powerfully competent workers in the industry as cooks and can be sous chef. As a good, excellent bartender and can come up to be F&B manager. So what we did starting 2017 was to go in partnership with international certification bodies to enable competent workers on the job to be certified.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
We take a break. CVM News at 7 continues in a moment.
Finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the onion ring zinger from KFC. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Ready, tech, grow! Business is fast, easy, flexible, and costs less. Oh, entrepreneurs, let's go digital! The government of Jamaica and the European Union present Digital Jamaica Training Series. Learn how technology grows your business. Choose the right digital tools. Manage your staff, customers, and money digitally. Data security and privacy. Artificial intelligence. We'll be in every parish. Apply online. www.jbdc.net. Log on fast. Digital Jamaica. Powering connectivity for MSMEs.
You see me? Me love my food and my ketchup run the flavor in so many ways. Miss Power, I want to turn up your food, sir.
My secret ingredients, just tomato ketchup, run the flavor.
Richer, thicker, and more of more than ever.
You have a ketchup.
Thanks for staying with us. Inclusivity has always been a hallmark at 56 Hope Road in Kingston, a milepost institution resting on the shoulders of one who carried the message of equal rights and justice for all worldwide. However, this day in the month of heightened awareness on autism and disabilities, it was extra special for one group of over 25s. Carolyn Brown was also there for this report.
Singing no worry about the thing.
Stepping outside the box during February, Reggae and Black History Month, this youngster initiated a sing-along during Kiwanis Day for people with disabilities. He raised the tone and note higher at the Abilities Foundation and released his heart's desire.
The one wish he had was to visit the Bob Marley Museum.
Well, for talking out, he not only made his dream a reality, but he opened the door for 29 others, including one shadow and 4 teachers.
What is your name?
Christopher Chung.
Christopher Chung. Listen, you are the reason why we're here today.
I'm a Bob Marley fan.
How long have you been a Bob Marley fan?
2 years now.
Tell me why. What do you love about him?
He's a good singer. You know my favorite Bob Marley song?
Yes.
Turn the lights down low. Only pull you in the curtains.
Yes.
On the moon come shining into our life again.
You're a true Bob Marley fan.
Yes.
So you know all the songs.
Yes. I watched the Bob Marley movie one time now. The movie when Bob Marley go to America, Exodus. could play that album.
Tell me what's your favorite thing about school?
Sewing.
Sewing?
Sewing. And my favorite thing, I love watch a movie, Bob Marley movie, 12 times. I watch a movie 12 times. Yes, 12 times watch the Bob Marley movie.
So guess what? You're standing right in front. Go turn around and look at his picture.
Christopher's salute was unexpected, but it wasn't a surprise to beauty services instructor Caroline Patterson.
He's one of our students who does design decor, that's sewing. He calls it sewing, but at the school we call that design decor. He's doing very well. And I was the person he came to in the initial stage and said to me, Miss, I want to go to Bob Marley Museum.
My name's Tyron. I'm from London visiting the Bob Marley Museum. So I've been here for a while, walking around, and it's good to see there are loads of people here, but loads of kids as well who now I understand have suffered from autism. But one of the reasons I felt like making this video and really speaking about it is important. It's important about inclusivity. Not just here in Jamaica but in London as well. It's very important that they integrate into society. People understand. And they bring awareness to, what they might be seen as different. They're not. They're just unique. Is them, right? We're all unique. So it's quite powerful just seeing them walking around and everyone interacting with them, and they're just a part of society.
What was a first for many students was deja vu for senior instructor and faculty division 1 for Action Club for persons with disabilities under the Constant Spring Kiwanis Club, Therese Braham.
I was also a patient at the Mona Rehab, and in our younger years we used to be taken here every January. So the foundation has been giving back to persons with disabilities, and I feel so good that they partner with the Kiwanis to make my students come here.
Curlin Brown, CVM News.
National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the gains in crime fighting are hinged on the hard work of the security forces, the continued investment and modernization of the police force, backed by stronger legislation.
National Security Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Horace Chang is heaping praise on the security forces and particularly the JCF after continued reductions in major crimes in recent years. He outlined a raft of measures from legislation to modernization and even construction geared at maintaining the gains for years to come.
There will be a national policy against trafficking in person to be tabled as a green paper. We'll table in national visa policies, a white paper, within the next 2 months. Table the crime prevention through social transformation policy as a green paper will also be tabled. We'll use the new corrections policy developed by the ministry to guide amendments to the Corrections Act, which will be tabled again in this first quarter. These legislative priorities are designed to reinforce the strong institutional and operational framework we have built, ensuring that the gains we have made are secured in law and sustained over the long term.
Bolstering critical legislation such as the Gun Act, helping to thwart gun crimes. He maintains, despite the shocks to the economy in recent months and years, the Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party has invested heavily in the modernization of the police force, citing several constructions.
The St. Catherine North Division, both models of what should be divisional headquarters, and of course replacement in Bull Bay, Cave Valley, Mucko, Granville and Amity Hall in St. James, are already in the pre-construction phase, and we are working on DIAS. Investment in security for the safety of public Jamaicans. And we'll come to more. There's a major special operation unit to be built in Montego Bay.
On the matter of body-worn cameras and the digitization of the force, he notes there are continued investments.
Looking at a target of 3,000 cameras over time. But we are not quite there. We'll be acquiring additional one this year, and we will complete that process by the 28th budget year. We have acquired body-worn cameras, and they have been deployed, but deployment is decided by the Commissioner of Police. Body-worn cameras are part of modern police equipment, and the only person who have the authority and the professional capacity to instruct where they should go is the Commissioner of Police as his team. No civil society organization can tell us where to put them. That was what was damaging the police for years. Everybody like cowboy policing and downmanship and then tell police how to go police. Cameras are good for transparency and accountability, and we will continue to acquire.
He was speaking Tuesday during the sectoral debate in Parliament.
Questions over the handling of key forensic evidence took center stage on Tuesday in the Clansman gang trial as the prosecution's witness detailed his involvement in the April 2018 Bog Walk shooting incident. Carla Ramdeen has been tracking that case and now reports.
Another prosecution witness testified on Tuesday in relation to the chain of custody of evidence connected to the Bog Walk St. Catherine incident in April 2018. Which resulted in the murder of 2 men and the wounding with intent of another. The men charged in relation to the incident are the accused Tesha Miller and Kirk Forrester. The shooting covers count 9, 10, and 11 in the prosecution's 32-count indictment. Count 9 charges Miller and Forrester with facilitating a criminal organization in February 24, 2018, murder of Leon Burke in St. Catherine. Count 10 relates to the murder of Kemar Williams, and Count 11 facilitating the commission of a serious offense by a criminal organization, the wounding with intent of an unnamed individual. The witness, a detective constable attached to the St. Catherine Scenes of Crime Unit in 2018, testified that on April 24, 2018, he was approached by a detective sergeant to assist in transporting evidence to the Scenes of Crime Unit and the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine. The evidence consisted of 2 bullets recovered from the 2 bodies during the post-mortem. The witness stated that he was accompanied by a detective sergeant to the lab. He told the court that he handed over the package and received a receipt, which he later logged in the station's exhibit book. During cross-examination, the witness was questioned by defense counsel Denise Hinson, representing the accused Tesha Miller, regarding the recording of his statement outlining his actions that day. Attorney Hinson inquired about the time in which the witness took to record his statement, indicating that the statement was recorded in January 2026, 8 years after. Defense counsel pressed the witness on his ability to record the chain of events after such a long period. The witness explained that he had originally recorded a statement in 2018, but it was misplaced. He was later asked by a detective sergeant to re-record a statement in January 2026. He testified that he was able to recall the chain of events by referring to the lab receipt and the exhibit book. The defense later suggested that his recollection was not only aided by those documents, but also by other officers. The witness disagreed. The men are indicted under the Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Act. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
We take a break. More when we return.
Finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the onion ring zinger from KFC. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Can you do this?
Thanks for staying with us. Reactions continue to emerge this evening following Monday's fatal stabbing of a Seaforth High School student by one of his schoolmates. Amoy Harriet visited the school and the bus park today where the fight happened, speaking with those closest to the incident to get a clearer sense of what happened.
A dark cloud now hangs over Seaforth High School in St. Thomas.
It's going on 3 o'clock and the school has dismissed early for students here at the Seaforth High School following Monday's deadly attack between a group of students. Now, this is the exact spot where the altercation began on Monday between the now deceased, who was a grade 8 student, and a group of about 3 grade 9 boys. Now, vendors tell us that they broke up the fight, they parted it, and the grade 8 student was placed on a minibus, which is usually parked right here outside the school. The fight then culminated in the Morant Bay bus park. This is the establishment where the attacker allegedly bought the knife that was used in the fatal incident. The Jamaica Teachers Association says the police should take action against the operators.
I cannot understand how it is that a responsible adult would sell a knife to a student who is in uniform, and when you look at that student, you know it's a very young student. So, you know, it is something that I believe warrants some investigation, and where possible, you know, there needs to be legislative strengthening to treat with matters of that nature.
But they insist they're not responsible.
I never sell it to a school, Penny. Scalava, you know me all over. Knife, liquor, cigarette, 3 items, we are never select.
So we're currently in the bus park where Teen Hub is located. Now, this facility, we understand, is where students can come to get help whenever they have homework or other matters related to school. We understand it is a popular chill spot here in Morant Bay. But while seeking help, this was also, quite frankly, the crime scene of Monday's attack. This is where the fight culminated after leaving the gates of Seaforth High School on Monday, where the grade 8 boy was fatally stabbed. Now, since being here a couple of minutes, we've noticed police presence in the area, where police officers have been seemingly carrying out random searches of students' backpacks.
Right, me feel that way about said the 2 boys didn't kill him because he did ask my friend, but him wrong, all of them wrong.
These students are friends of the grade 9 boy who attack was justified.
Well, I feel it's self-defense.
Well, you feel that it was self-defense? What makes you say that?
Because there was an altercation, they fought already in the school and then go back again, and like yesterday the boy come for him and he make him friend box up one of my friend them, so him go buy a knife. Would I purchase a knife to stab him too? Of course would I stab him.
We asked them why they believe their peers resort to violence to resolve their conflicts.
Them do it for look bad in front of them friend them, like for them friend proud, because some of them par with wrong company.
I am torn inside. I'm torn. Believe me, I am really taken aback, because we never expect to see this happen. We could see it coming, because almost every day they are fight over here.
Noel Brown has been a vendor outside Seaforth for nearly 3 decades. He's blaming the school administration for what he describes as poor management.
What about deans of discipline, guidance, counselors, resource officers?
Non-existent. The vice principal, no, it was the dean of discipline. And I mean, anything happen in this place, man. Anything happen in this school.
Angry. I've been here over 12 years and I've never seen it. Never. Them war, but I've never seen somebody kill a student like that.
Yes, man, you there sell something and I look a fight broke up. You say, you better pack up, you know. Everybody run, go and watch a fight. Which means I know whether you am a prayer in them head. Be a fight every day something. That's Seaforth High School.
Orlando McPherson is the driver of the minibus that transported Kalen to what was literally his final destination.
I shed tears last night. I tell you this. Shed tears. But just life, you know, then just years hard.
In the meantime, officials from the Education Ministry who visited the school today say they're providing psychosocial support to students and staff at the institution, as well as the family of the victim.
And we also
want to look at in coming days, not immediately, but in another week or so, sit with our administration to look at how we're implementing our HFLE curriculum, which includes conflict resolution, how we are implementing our guidance curriculum, because these things are already built in the system. So we have to look back to see if there's anything we can do to ensure that our students choose better ways of solving their conflicts. And that we will take on. But initially, our focus is helping them to just make sense of this and to just redouble their efforts, especially as we have students going into their exams in short order.
Amoy Harriet, CVM News.
Thanks, Amoy. It's now time for the Business Report with Joel Crosskill.
So much to discover with you in the Business Report today. From the coastal setting of Treasure Beach in St. Elizabeth, as the JMMB Thought Leadership Breakfast unearthed gems from a discussion centered on the future of agro-tourism and sustainable development. Community tourism pioneer Jason Hensel, chairman of the famed Jake's Hotel, spoke to the significance of this moment in time towards ensuring that the luster of Jamaica's tourism product is equaled by its resilience.
Sustainable development is at the forefront of everybody's mind right now. And we got hit hard here in Treasure Beach, but when you see what has happened further down from Parity all the way to Savlamar and then through to Hanover, St. James and Trelawney, the devastation can be overwhelming. And you know, it's easy to say, let's build back stronger. The truth of the matter, and it's not popular to say this, is we're more vulnerable now than we were before. This is a time to reset, reimagine, challenge ourselves.
A challenge accepted by all in attendance, including Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green.
What we know now more than ever is that as the world becomes more technologically driven, experiences will win. What we now see is that the agricultural experience can now be marketed in such a way that in and of itself can be used to bring value. So what the government has been doing is literally having the Ministry of Agriculture and Tourism sit down to say, what are those events, experiences, communities that we can identify that would be good tourism products because they already are good agricultural spaces. Then, what infrastructure support is needed to maximize that potential?
For Heather Pinnock, Managing Director of Lucy Caribbean Limited, resource efficiency remains an important load-bearing pillar of the people-planet-profit paradigm of truly sustainable development.
Every decision you make that is more efficient, even just slightly more efficient, makes a difference. When the drought comes, which it will, when the storm comes, which it will, the decisions you have made on the sunny day bear fruit on those occasions. And everybody's like, oh, I have solar. You have solar on an extremely inefficient house. You have solar on a house with tiny windows and a heavy slab and a big back TV. All of that don't make any sense. You know, why have solar? You gotta come further down the line. Use less energy. Use things more efficiently. And the financing needs to also address not just the thing that we can all see, the solar on the roof, but it needs to address things like how do you not use lights when you don't need it? Those little things that turn off the light when you come out the room, they cost mostly $200. And they are the most effective thing. But you don't see big campaigns about that. You see campaigns about putting solar on your roof.
It's a material concern for Andre Baugh, head of school at the Caribbean School of Architecture, UTEC.
We need to think about what we have as our key ingredient to resilience. And one of the missing things is hemp, using hempcrete. Because if we can grow our home or our building, then we're practically on a path to affordability. I think the future is us looking at hempcrete, rammed earth, stone, and timber, because that is what we have locally, and there's definitely a scope